Halito, everybody. Halito. This is CT for the NYC Indian, and today you're going to be watching my avatar because I am not I'm not going to be on camera today, guys. I got to take a little rest and relaxation for this little back of mine. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be talking about seeking brother husbands. It's going to be coming to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in, guys. So did you guys see the episode last night? We started off with Kenya, Carl, and Tiger, and they decide to go shopping for not shopping, but house hunting for a three-bedroom. Because remember, Kenya is like trying to expand her little queendom, honey, and she needs an extra bedroom for all those shenanigans. She plans to lay down in that room that does not inhabit her lovely little Tiger. So Tiger, he's looking at the house like not very impressed because he still wants to keep his little princess next to him, but she is, being a goddess out here on the earth and, spreading her seed, right? In so many ways. So, but we do know that if you guys have not watched my other video, please go and check that out. It's got some spoiler stuff in there, so I'm not going to reveal too much in this video about the dynamic of Kenya, Carl, and Tiger's relationship until they say that on camera. But if you are interested in some other footage from some other film footage from them in the form of a documentary, there's one on my channel, so go check that out. But yeah, so they're walking around the house and looking at different bedrooms and things like that. And here goes Kenya. She looks in those bedrooms. She just laughs. Like, are you serious? No, 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 no. We need a compound. Okay. This ain't no one kid with one lady with a couple of kids kind of situations. Because when she introduced the realtor, or she introduced her husbands to the realtor's face was like, the fuck? It was so funny. She didn't even know what to do. And she's thinking to herself, like, as Kenya's like critiquing the rooms, like, I didn't know this was gonna be some crazy ass situation. I would have took you guys, would have shown you a different kind of apartment or something like that. But anyway, it was really funny. So yeah. So, Tiger's bringing up the marriage ceremony again because remember, he's trying to lock it down because he does not want to be husband number three because she's already reaching out and trying to date and stuff like that, and he seems to really be in love with her. Now, the thing is, it's just such an interesting dynamic how each and every time we always have these people who, they're the first or the second, whatever. Well, no, mainly it's with the second person. When they come in, they've already, gotten used to the idea that this person that they're in love with has been with this other person over here. They're, oh, that's just old Joe. He just blends in with the ferns. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't take the first person seriously and they like to I don't know, they like to carry on as if they're in a monogamous relationship and that like the first spouse doesn't even exist. And when they bring in somebody else, it's like, hey, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, I'm not down with all this poly stuff. Like, what's going on now? It's interesting how they tend to get like jealous about their position. It's like you don't have her all to yourself to begin with. And you just, I mean, like I said, I don't feel sorry for any of these men. These are grown men. They can easily walk out. They don't have any kids to take with them. They're not saddled down or anything like that. They can go find somebody else in 5 minutes. I'm sure half of these men on this show are probably on the apps anyway. So, even though they didn't describe this show as a show about polyandry, I was thinking this was about polyandry. And I'm thinking this is more about it should be described as polyamorous women, right? Versus polyandrous. Because, with the polygamous shows that we've watched in the past on this network, the men have the wives and the wives are not allowed to have anybody else. But on this one, it seems like the men are dating out now, or at least it's not clear for all of them if like the men are also doing the same thing. So anyway, yeah. So, Tiger's talking about this wedding, and Kenya can't be bothered. All right. Kenya's like, look, I am about to turn whatever age she is. I'm trying to keep it hot and popping and moving while I can. She looks like she's just ready, like 2 seconds away from doing a cartwheel at all moments. She's very high on life, very exuberant, jovial type person, and she seems to be really enjoying her life. And Carl seems to be okay with it too. So I mean, whatever. But Tiger, I don't know. I don't find him to be the right person for this particular sort of setup because he's not built for this. He really, I mean, he loves her, and she's just never gonna be with him like that. So she's just enjoying her best life, trying to get that third bedroom, honey. So anyway, she keeps using this excuse that, because no one or none of her parents, none of his parents, none of Carl's parents, none of them will attend. Everybody's like not down with it. So, why are we even going through all this? We're already together. What are you talking about? And he feels really slighted by this. He feels like he really wants to like seal the deal and officially make her his almost kind of sort of wife. Cause, you know, polygamy is not, well, okay. So there's bigamy and polygamy. And I know one of them is illegal, and I don't remember which one it is. The one where you can have one of them, you can have someone and be married to one person legally and have all the rest as whatever, like pretend spouses. And then the other one is like where you're actually physically trying to marry each person. So whichever one it is, I don't know. I don't even remember. But all I know is that, um, she's got a lot of men, or she at least in her head, she is preparing to have more, and 2 is not enough. So now let's go over to LA with Elisa and Mike. Now, this situation really trips me out because girlfriend is over there putting on her mascara, honey. She is beating that face in her best little face beat type way, and she is getting ready for this date. And it's weird, like, Mike is so uncomfortable. He's like, "Oh, Isaac. So let's hear about Isaac. Tell me all about Isaac." He wants all the details. She's like, "I don't got time for deets, honey. How does my hair look? Is this my good side?" She couldn't care less. And she doesn't really seem to be into her husband. He is very mealy mouth, very like like ultra soft guy. And another one, if you don't want to be in this, why not go find yourself? You can go on 90 Day Fiance. You can go on any app. If I'm correct, a heterosexual white male, you will get, and you'll get real. And the thing is that you'll get like real pretty people too, like you can date, like, way above your station because of his demographic, right? So, I mean, he doesn't have to be in this, is my point. Like, why is he even doing this? Like, why do this to yourself, right? I don't understand this. Like, just too much for me. He seems just, like, so weak, like, just get up and leave. Just tell her, "I'm not down with this shit. I don't like this. I love you. I wanna be with you. If you don't only wanna be with me, then, kick rocks." I mean, come on. So, like I said, he's clearly uncomfortable. So she goes on her date with Isaac, who's an artist. He looks very young. He's very immature. He's just talking about sex, sex, sex every 2 minutes. It's just enough with all the sex stuff. So she's like, "Yeah, this is not going to work out," because she wants to be with someone who wants a serious relationship. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So now we go back to Atlanta with the new person. And, I'm kind of excited to see our new person. Her name is it Charla or Shara? I think I'm gonna say Charla for now. So Charla is 43. She is an artist and she is married to Patrick for 13 years. Now they have and they have a third person. His name is Noble, and they've been together for 2 years. So apparently she got into some really bad car accident and she had a tough recovery. And during that time, her and her husband Patrick physically grew apart and they were not having sex anymore and the romance just declined. And this was over the course of 10 years. It's like, wow. So, that's a long time. And she said, "Well, listen, I don't want to continue going on like this. Either we're going to have to figure something out, bring in some other people or just part ways." So, what they don't go into detail enough about is like what was going on during those 10 years. Were they both seeing other people, or was she like cheating for 7 years and finally they decided after 10 years, okay, now we're gonna do, like, I don't understand. I need more information. Definitely need more information. But anyway, after she met Noble, he moved in and it was around the time of the pandemic. So he was living, or I don't know if he was living, but at least the husband Patrick says that he could hear them getting it on in the basement. I thought, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, like, how are you going to be that loud in your house? Like, you didn't think to like get like a little soundproof room or something? Like, come on. And Noble, I mean, he seems to be into her, but I'm not taking him very seriously. Patrick, he just seems like, this is not, he's not cut out for this. He's just not happy with this. And, eventually, because of, the tight quarters and being quarantined together, he eventually asks, her, like, hey, listen, I don't know, like, hey, you're gonna have to do something. So then she has to ask him to leave. So Noble moves out. Now, I'm sure, like, that was convenient during the lockup, but I mean, but convenient for who? For Patrick, though, because Patrick has to sit there and listen to them, and at the time that the lockdown happened, we didn't know how long we were gonna be locked down for. So he's like, "Okay, am I gonna have to be looking at his ass every day for the next 6 months? Is this gonna be another year? Like, what's going on?" Um, so yeah, Patrick was definitely not for the nonsense. So anyway, we go over to Vincent and Dustin and Kim. So Dustin comes over and he talks to Vincent. And remember, Vincent, his whole thing with Kim is like, we got to keep that friendship. I really got to keep that friendship. I really want my buddy. I mean, that sounds so eerily familiar, like with those sister wives, right? I just want a best friend. I want a best friend. And so, the thing is that both Kim and Dustin see Vincent as someone who wants to be semi-monogamous, kind of like still have access to Kim and, be a part of her life and like the center of her world, but at the same time, her not, be flirting with other guys and dating and stuff like that. And, this is not the life for Vincent. Vincent is a very mild-mannered, kind of, I wouldn't say weak like Mike, the other husband, but he's definitely real mild-mannered and seems like he's kind of a pushover, and another one that I just don't understand what, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So yeah, so then he starts to tell Dustin, like, how much he admires the way that Dustin can handle things and, deal with his jealousy. And Dustin's like, well, the only thing you can do, just support her. This is how we show we love her, that we allow her to be with whomever she wants to be. And, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Remember, last week she wanted Vincent to move back in. So he's supposed to be like, I guess Dustin's supposed to be having like, the soft cushion conversation with him to kind of reiterate like, hey, listen, this is not going to be monogamous, just to just to keep you aware of all the things that are going on here. And we don't even see Kim and Vincent interact during this episode. I wanted to see a little bit more of that, right? I want to see like how they talk to each other, like their eye contact, like, what I mean, are there some other options for him? Is he dating out? He seems to be so enamored with Kim that he strikes me as someone who is not dating or looking at anybody but Kim. And I'm like, damn, Kim, you got all these men fighting over you. Okay, girl. So anyway, we get back to Elisa. So Elisa, she's giving her husband Mike the post-date wrap up, right? And he's sitting there and he's just like chewing glass, just listening to it. And it's like, Mike, if you need any help, just blink, okay? He's just so mealy mouthed and so, man, just like kind of, I'm not saying you have to be like an alpha male, but like if you try to man up just a little bit, you might stand up for yourself and be like, listen, this is not what I want. You cheated on me. I can't, I love you. This is, not going to work for me. I wish you all the best. Peace out. Right. Like he could do that if he had a little bit more of a spine, but he's just over there, just like asking stupid questions about this date. And anyway, so okay, where was I? I got lost. He was miserable. Oh yeah. So then she starts explaining to him like why this isn't why it didn't work out. She's like, yeah, he was nice and everything. I could see as friends, but nothing physical because he just kept talking about sex the whole time. And she's like, and he's like, yeah, I see what you mean. She's like, I mean, I'm not saying that a booty call is off the table, but, and he's like, "Wait a minute, hold on, what?" He's like, I didn't sign up for a casual situation. I wanted to be with you and only you. And, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. So we're just, we'll see how long this lasts, right? Because we're going to see scenes next month, or not, sorry, not next month, but next week of him talking to his mother, and that's going to be very, very interesting. So, all right, so our last couple is Charlotte. So she meets up with Noble, and she wants to talk about him moving out because she didn't like the way things ended, and she wants him to move back in. And the thing is that Noble is like, she felt as though that Noble was not taking this as a serious relationship. Noble just saw himself as somebody who had a girlfriend who just happened to be married, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my God. So, all right, well, he seems a little bit more, um, let's say, more, he's not transient, but he can just kinda go here and there. For him to move out that easily and stuff, and to even consider moving back in so easily, or I'm sorry, let me make that clear. He is the one that wants to move back in. Yeah, not Charlotte. He's the one that brings that up. So, but she's like, "But, you gotta take things seriously. You weren't very serious before." He's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'll be very serious." And, I'm like, "Okay, Noble, I'm not understanding. Is this like a rent thing? Are you just trying to save some money?" Because, hey, listen, Tiger and Carl and Kenya, they were talking about, "Listen, we save money. We're splitting things up, or splitting things, or dividing things 3 ways, so, I mean, we're saving some cash over here. But yeah, I didn't get the feeling that Noble was that serious, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, it's gonna take a while, I think, for things to really juicing up, because right now we're still getting to know them. And I still have a lot of questions about how the dynamics of each relationship works. But it is interesting. It is interesting. But hopefully it'll be a little bit more exciting next week. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you know when I'm going live. Share it with your friends. I got a whole bunch of videos you guys can watch. I'm also reviewing 90 Day Fiance, which I'll be reviewing in a few minutes, very shortly, in maybe like 10-15 minutes. I'll start that review. I will be doing on Thursday Married at First Sight, and then on Saturday, Love After Lockup for Felon Friday. All right, everybody. I hope you guys are staying safe and taking care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. All right, Chipisalacho.